In 2026, the cost of a quick meal in America is undergoing its most significant shift in decades. For those on fixed incomes or Social Security, the value menu is effectively a thing of the past. With labor costs up 40% and insurance premiums rising, fast food chains are no longer citing temporary supply chain issues. They are permanently restructuring their pricing. In some markets, a single combo meal now rivals the price of a sit-down restaurant. Today, we're looking at 10 major chains implementing the steepest increases this year. So stick around, because some of these price hikes will shock you. And if you're still eating at number 1 on this list, you need to hear this right now. Let's get started. Number 10. Subway. For decades, Subway survived on one simple promise: $5 footlongs. You could walk in with a $10 bill, feed 2 people, and still have change left over. That world doesn't exist anymore. In 2026, those same footlongs are hitting $10.69 in major cities, and in some locations, they're pushing past $11. That's a 114% increase from the glory days. But here's what really stings for folks on Social Security. Subway raised prices by 39% since 2014, which sounds modest compared to other chains, until you realize that's still outpacing your cost of living adjustment by double. A 6-inch sub that cost $4 in 2019 now runs $7 or more. And with California's $20 minimum wage forcing 10% price hikes in that state alone, the rest of the country is watching similar increases roll out month by month. The problem for Subway goes deeper than just sticker shock. The chain has closed over 3,200 stores since 2021, and hundreds more are expected to vanish by year's end. Franchisees are drowning in costs. Rent up 20%, labor up 30%, and delivery app fees eating another 20 to 30% of every order. When your business model depends on volume and your core customer, working-class Americans, can no longer afford your cheapest sandwich, you're in trouble. What's coming in 2026? More closures, higher prices, and a brand that used to represent affordable lunch struggling to survive in a market where even their value items feel like luxuries. Number 9. Burger King. Burger King wants you to believe they're fighting for value. They ran ads mocking competitors. They offered free Whoppers when Wendy's tried dynamic pricing. But behind the marketing smokescreen, Burger King is quietly raising prices just like everyone else. The chicken fries, a fan favorite, jumped 16% in just 1 year. And while the chain brags about modest 2% average increases, that number hides the reality. Individual franchise owners, the ones actually running your local Burger King, are reporting negative cash flow. That means they're losing money every month, and when franchises start bleeding cash, prices go up or stores close. In 2026, Burger King faces a brutal math problem. Over 400 store closures already announced, market share down to 9%, the lowest in decades. And a Whopper combo that used to anchor their value menu now costs over $11 in most markets. For retirees who remember when Burger King meant affordable flame-broiled burgers, this stings. Because the chain built its empire on have-it-your-way pricing that didn't break the bank, now you're paying sit-down restaurant prices for drive-through food. And here's the kicker. Burger King isn't done raising prices. With beef costs surging and labor pressures mounting, franchisees are warning that 2026 could bring another 5 to 7% increase across the board. That Whopper you're eating today for $6, it'll be pushing $6.50 or more by summer. And for folks on fixed incomes counting every dollar, that's one more reason to skip the drive-thru and eat at home. Number 8. KFC. KFC used to be Sunday dinner. A bucket of fried chicken, some sides, and enough food to feed the whole family without emptying your wallet. But in 2026, the Colonel's empire is crumbling under the weight of rising costs and falling customer loyalty. The famous $5 fill-up? Now $9.79. That's a 96% increase in just a few years. And it's not just the fill-up. Across the board, KFC prices have climbed 15 to 20% in major markets, pushing away the very customers who built the brand. Here's what makes KFC's situation especially painful. The chain has lost nearly 500 stores in just 2 years. customer visits are down 10% per quarter. And younger Americans, the ones who should be replacing aging loyal customers, see KFC as dated, a relic of their grandparents' generation. Meanwhile, competitors like Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A are stealing market share with faster service and cleaner experiences. For people over 55, many of whom grew up with KFC as a family tradition, this decline hits differently. Because it's not just about the chicken. It's about watching an affordable comfort disappear. A bucket that used to cost $20 now runs $30 or more. And with rising costs for oil, chicken, and labor showing no signs of slowing, KFC's 2026 outlook is grim. Expect more store closures, higher prices, and a brand desperately trying to win back customers who've already moved on. The chicken may still be crispy, but the future looks burnt. Number 7. Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box built its brand on owning the night. Cheap tacos, curly fries, milkshakes for anyone out past midnight. But in 2026, those neon lights are dimming fast. The chain saw an average 45% cost increase between 2019 and 2024, and late-night traffic, once 35% of total sales, has collapsed to just 18%. That's not a dip, that's a free fall. Why the collapse? Rising crime in some areas forced many locations to stop staying open 24 hours, eliminating their one unique advantage. Inflation turned a $6 combo into a $10 meal, and younger customers, the late-night crowd Jack in the Box depends on, are broke. When wages stay flat and everything else doubles, nobody's hitting the drive-thru at 2 a.m. for overpriced burgers. Here's what stings for budget-conscious seniors. Jack in the Box was never fancy, but it was reliable and cheap. Now, same-store sales dropped 9% in the first half of 2025. Franchises are furious, accusing corporate of pushing expensive delivery apps that cut profits and raise prices. And many locations are sitting empty for 70-plus days on the market because nobody wants to buy a struggling fast food franchise in 2026. What's coming next? More price increases, more store closures, and a brand that used to make America smile running out of both time and customers. The clown-faced burger joint that owned the night is losing the battle to inflation, and there's no rescue plan in sight. Number 6. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has a cult following. People wait in line 20 cars deep. They rave about the service. They practically beg for the chance to spend money on chicken sandwiches and waffle fries. But in 2026, even Chick-fil-A's most loyal fans are starting to feel the squeeze. A chicken sandwich now runs over $8 in some markets. Combo meals regularly top $12, and the chain that built its reputation on value is quietly becoming one of the most expensive options on the block. Since 2014, Chick-fil-A prices have climbed over 50%. In California alone, where the $20 minimum wage kicked in, prices jumped 10.6% in just 2 months. That's not gradual inflation, that's sticker shock. And while Chick-fil-A still dominates customer satisfaction rankings, winning top fast food chain for the 11th straight year, there's a dark truth lurking beneath the friendly service. Labor costs are crushing the industry, and Chick-fil-A is passing every penny directly to customers. Here's what makes this especially painful for folks on fixed incomes. Chick-fil-A used to be the splurge that didn't feel like a splurge. You could treat yourself once a week without guilt, but when that weekly chicken sandwich costs the same as a sit-down meal at Applebee's, the math stops working. And despite generating over $22 billion in system-wide sales, Chick-fil-A shows no signs of slowing price increases. Analysts expect another 5 to 8% jump in 2026 as food and labor costs continue climbing. The chicken may be worth it to die-hard fans, but for millions of Americans watching every dollar, Chick-fil-A is becoming a luxury they can no longer afford. Number 5. Chipotle. Chipotle built an empire on fresh ingredients and customizable burritos at prices that felt fair. But in 2026, that value proposition is cracking. Prices have surged 75% since 2014, and in California, where labor costs jumped 20% overnight, Chipotle responded by hiking menu prices 7 to 8% across all 500 Golden State locations. A chicken burrito that cost $8 just 2 years ago now runs over $10 in most markets. And if you want steak, you're looking at $12 or more before adding guacamole, which will cost you another $3. For people on Social Security trying to stretch their dollars, Chipotle's transformation from affordable to expensive is frustrating. Because this isn't a luxury brand, it's fast casual. You're still ordering at a counter, carrying your own tray, and eating off disposable plates. Yet somehow, you're paying $15 for a burrito bowl that used to cost $9. Here's the brutal math behind Chipotle's price hikes. Labor costs now eat up 25.1% of total revenue, up from 24.7% just 1 year ago. Food costs, driven by inflation in beef and chicken, plus new tariffs enacted in 2025, are climbing. And while Chipotle is still growing, opening new locations and reporting strong earnings, they're doing it by charging customers more, not by finding efficiencies. What's coming in 2026? Analysts predict Chipotle will push prices another 4 to 6% higher to maintain profit margins. That $10 burrito? It'll be $10.50 or more by summer. And for millions of Americans who used to see Chipotle as the healthy, affordable option, it's becoming just another overpriced fast food trap. Now, before we keep going, if you're sitting there realizing your favorite lunch spot just made this list, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week we're breaking down the economic forces that are draining your wallet, from Social Security changes to Medicare costs to the real story behind rising prices. We're here to help you navigate this mess. And don't forget to drop a comment telling me which fast food chain you've already stopped going to because of high prices. I read every single one. All right, let's keep going, because the top 4 chains on this list, they're about to get even worse. Number 4, Popeyes. Remember the chicken sandwich wars? Back in 2019, Popeyes created a frenzy with a chicken sandwich so good, people waited hours in line. Fast forward to 2026, and that frenzy is gone, replaced by sticker shock and falling traffic. Popeyes prices have exploded 86% since 2014, making them one of the worst offenders in the entire industry. That iconic combo meal that cost $7 just a few years ago, now it averages $11.79 in major cities. And for folks who thought Popeyes was the affordable alternative to sit-down restaurants, that's a gut punch. Because you're paying nearly $12 for fast food that you're eating in your car or taking home in a paper bag. Here's what's driving Popeyes into the ground. Cooking oil is up 32%, chicken prices are up 28%, and rent is skyrocketing in the strip mall locations where Popeyes typically operates. Meanwhile, drive-through times are among the slowest in the industry. Customer satisfaction has fallen below 70%, and the brand's aggressive overseas expansion drained resources from struggling U.S. stores. Now, closures are spreading from Louisiana to New York, with dozens of locations either shuttered or facing bankruptcy. For working-class Americans, many over 55, who grew up seeing Popeyes as a special treat after a long week, this decline is personal. Because it's not just about losing a restaurant, it's about losing affordable joy. That spicy chicken that once meant comfort and family now feels like a luxury you can't justify. And with costs showing no signs of slowing, Popeyes 2026 is looking even bleaker. More closures, higher prices, and a brand that lost the battle to stay affordable in a country running out of money to eat. Number 3, Taco Bell. Taco Bell survived for decades by being cheap and chaotic in the best way possible. Late-night cravings, dollar menu items, wild experiments like the Doritos Locos Taco. But in 2026, that chaos has turned into crisis. Prices have surged 81% since 2014. The Gordita Crunch, that cost $2.49 in 2014, now runs $4.99. The beefy 5-layer burrito jumped 132% from under $2 to over $4. And the legendary dollar menu that once defined Taco Bell, completely gone, replaced by a $3 value menu that doesn't feel like much of a value when you're on a fixed income. Here's the problem. Taco Bell built its empire on being the cheapest option when you were broke, the place you went when you had $5 and needed to eat. But now, a basic combo meal averages $9.50. And customers, especially Gen Z and young millennials who were Taco Bell's core audience, are walking away. Traffic is down 11%. Franchise owners are reporting the worst profit margins in 20 years. And over 250 U.S. locations were projected to close or rebrand by the end of 2025. For seniors who occasionally enjoyed Taco Bell as a quick, cheap meal, the transformation is jarring. Because it's not just about tacos, it's about watching affordability disappear. Even Taco Bell's attempts at innovation, bringing back discontinued items like the Mexican pizza, barely made a dent in falling sales. Consumers are tired, broke, and craving stability, not gimmicks. What's coming in 2026? More price increases, likely another 6 to 8% as food and labor costs continue climbing. That Crunchwrap Supreme you're eating today for $5? It'll be pushing $5.50 by spring. And for millions of Americans who saw Taco Bell as their last affordable refuge, the message is clear. Even the cheapest food isn't cheap anymore. Number 2. Wendy's. Wendy's spent years positioning itself as the premium fast food option. Fresh, never frozen beef, sea salt fries, the Frosty. But in 2026, Wendy's has become the most expensive fast food chain in America, with an average item price of $6.63. That's higher than McDonald's, higher than Burger King, higher than anywhere else you'd go for a quick burger. And here's the kicker. Prices jumped 50% since 2015, with a staggering 35% increase between 2021 and 2022 alone. A Dave's Double that cost $5 in 2019 now runs over $8 in most markets. Even the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, once a value menu staple, has crept past $4 in many locations. For people on Social Security, this is painful, because Wendy's used to be the splurge that felt worth it. Quality ingredients at prices that didn't destroy your budget. But now you're paying sit-down restaurant money for fast food convenience, and customers are furious. When Wendy's floated the idea of dynamic pricing, essentially charging more during busy lunch hours, like Uber does, the backlash was instant and brutal. Customers revolted, franchisees panicked, and Wendy's was forced to backtrack, claiming they never planned surge pricing. But the damage was done, because the message was clear. Wendy's sees customers as revenue to be maximized, not people to be served. What's coming in 2026? Analysts predict Wendy's will push prices another 5 to 7% higher to maintain margins as costs continue rising. That Baconator you love? It'll cost even more by summer. And for millions of Americans who once saw Wendy's as the better burger worth paying for, the equation no longer adds up. The quality is still there, maybe, but the value? That disappeared years ago. Number 1. McDonald's. It's the Golden Arches, the global icon of fast food, the brand that promised hot, cheap, reliable food for generations. But in 2026, McDonald's is leading the charge in destroying fast food affordability. And if you're still eating there regularly, you need to hear what's coming. McDonald's prices have doubled, 100% increase since 2014. That's triple the national inflation rate. A McChicken that cost $1 in 2014 now runs $3 or more. A medium fries jumped from $1.59 to $3.79. And the Big Mac, once the symbol of affordable American food, went from $4.39 in 2019 to $5.29 today. But here's what should terrify anyone on a fixed income. McDonald's CFO just announced they're expecting above-average inflation in 2026. Translation? Prices are going up again. Beef costs are surging, labor costs are climbing, and McDonald's is passing every cent to customers. In some wealthy areas, a Big Mac combo already costs $18. Yes, $18 for fast food. And while McDonald's executives claim that's an outlier, the trend is clear. What used to cost $6 is now $10, and it's headed to $12. For Social Security recipients who remember when McDonald's was the cheap, reliable option, this transformation is heartbreaking. Because McDonald's wasn't just food, it was a promise that no matter how tight money got, you could still get a decent meal without breaking the bank. That promise is dead. Despite rolling out value menus and discount deals, McDonald's customer visits dropped nearly 10% in 2025. Low-income consumers, the people who built McDonald's into an empire, have pulled back sharply. Why? Because when a combo meal costs the same as groceries for 2 days, the math stops working. And here's the brutal truth: McDonald's isn't slowing down. The company is reviewing how franchises set prices to ensure consistent value, which sounds good until you realize they're also expanding drive-thrus, investing in AI ordering, and planning the fastest growth period in company history. All of that costs money, and you're the one paying for it. What's coming in 2026? Expect another 5 to 8% price increase across the menu as beef prices, labor costs, and operational expenses continue climbing. That $5 meal deal everyone's talking about? It's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. The core menu is still getting more expensive every month. And for millions of Americans over 55 living on Social Security, pensions, or fixed savings, McDonald's has become what it swore it would never be: a luxury. The arches still glow, the fries are still salty, but the heart behind them has gone cold. America's most familiar comfort has become a reminder of just how unaffordable comfort has gotten. So there you have it. 10 fast food chains whose prices are skyrocketing in 2026, taking your hard-earned dollars with them. From Subway's disappearing value items to McDonald's doubling its prices over the last decade, the data is clear. Fast food has transitioned from a budget staple to a premium convenience. For millions of Americans managing a fixed budget, the quick meal promise is becoming harder to justify. We will continue to track these economic shifts and how they impact your cost of living. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss our next update on Social Security and market trends. Before you go, I'm interested in your perspective. Which of these chains has officially priced you out? I do read through all your comments and value the real-world data you share. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next analysis. This is EconoNova. Stay sharp.